For 6 years, the team of scientists and researchers stationed at Skinwalker Ranch in northern Utah had been trying to unlock the strange phenomena surrounding what they now called the bubble. This invisible sphere seemed to encompass a massive area of land centered at the triangle, extending thousands of feet into the air and below the ground, interfering with electronics, communications, and even physical objects that dared to cross its threshold. On that early morning, with the sun stretching over the mesa, Travis Taylor and his team gathered with new determination. After months of experiments involving rockets, drones, and ground sensors, they were ready to conduct a new test using a hybrid aerial device known as the Helikite, a cross between a helium balloon and a kite capable of hovering in one place for extended periods. The intent was to penetrate the bubble's boundary with attached instruments to detect electromagnetic and gravitational anomalies. As the team positioned the Helikite on the east field, a GPS tracker, high-speed cameras, and a 1.2 gigahertz signal transmitter were mounted to record whatever unfolded. Almost immediately, the instruments began to behave erratically. The GPS data plunged thousands of feet underground as if the tracker had burrowed deep beneath the earth. The moment the Helikite entered the eastern wall of the bubble, the drones began to fail. Jim Royston's LiDAR drone couldn't even take off. The system rejected flight commands as if an unseen force blocked its path. The monitors displayed a new spectral line beside the 1.2 gigahertz frequency, an interference that appeared precisely when the Helikite touched the invisible barrier. The team exchanged uneasy glances. What kind of electromagnetic field could paralyze drones, distort GPS readings, and reflect radio waves? When Travis launched a rocket into the bubble, it veered violently off course, steering north toward the mesa as though pushed aside by an unseen hand. A second rocket fired toward the triangle twisted away, this time deflecting south. Both failed to cross the boundary. The pattern was unmistakable. Whatever surrounded the ranch physically repelled solid objects. Back in the command center, Eric Bard analyzed the data and confirmed that the GPS trajectory of the Helikite had indeed gone below ground, while multiple cameras recorded flashes of motion, small darting objects near the barrier that defy explanation. The following day, the team regrouped for a secondary experiment at Dry Gulch Creek along the southern boundary of the bubble. They equipped kayaks with sonar tri-field meters and drones, hoping to test the bubble's consistency. As they paddled through the narrow creek, the instruments failed again. Zero readings on radiation, disappearing sonar connections, and GPS anomalies that placed them thousands of feet underground. When Jim attempted to fly his drone across the bubble from the south, it refused to launch, warning that another aircraft was nearby, though the sky was empty. After forcing a manual override, the drone crossed the threshold and suffered repeated GPS data corruption exactly where the invisible wall was believed to stand. In the command center, the team observed red error points clustering along the same boundary line seen before. Later that evening, biologist Ben Woodruff joined via video link to discuss samples the team had collected near the creek animal scat that contained partially digested coyote bones. No predator native to Utah should eat a coyote. Wolves would kill them out of competition, but never consume them. The finding suggested something far more powerful, possibly a dire wolf, an ancient predator thought extinct for 10,000 years. The coincidence was chilling. Both the carcass found the previous year and this new evidence lay within the bubble's domain. Meanwhile, LiDAR data from the drone revealed a black void along the southern boundary, a strip of missing information that corresponded exactly with areas where purple and silver orbs had appeared in past seasons. The bubble, it seemed, was not just distorting electronics. It might also be a gate of sorts, an energetic membrane linked to unidentified aerial phenomena. As days passed, the team began physically marking the bubble's perimeter with wooden posts to visualize its extent. During this operation, they stumbled upon a sealed bottle containing a GPS device they had dropped from a helicopter 3 years prior, an experiment long forgotten. The bottle had reappeared precisely at the western boundary of the bubble, as if it had slid along its surface and rested at its edge. Another missing bottle was found near the southern boundary, reinforcing the eerie suggestion that objects were deflected by this unseen dome. When the drillers resumed operations at the mesa, attempting to bore 2 parallel holes through the rock to study a buried anomaly, new mysteries emerged. Water pumped into the boreholes vanished without return, implying the presence of vast voids inside the mesa. Moments later, they hit a layer harder than granite halting progress. Archaeologist Chris Roberts sifted through the spoils and discovered metallic fragments layered and magnetic, resembling aerospace shielding used by NASA and SpaceX. The possibility that artificial materials were embedded deep in the mesa reignited theories of ancient technology or crashed craft. To test the western boundary of the bubble, the team launched another rocket monitored by expert Pete Kelsey's terrestrial LiDAR and Jim's airborne drone. Once again, the rocket diverted from its path and the drone froze mid-air as though pressing against glass. The GPS logs later revealed that it had been pushed backward 200 feet in seconds. A glowing orb appeared beside the drone, captured on camera. Simultaneously, a mysterious 1.2 gigahertz signal was detected. Again, though no transmitter was active, some intelligence seemed to be responding. Eric's spectrum analyzer pinpointed the signal to the west, near the bubble's edge. The pattern repeated electromagnetic interference, physical deflection, and unexplainable lights. The episode closed with the team reflecting on the accumulation of data. They had confirmed a spherical structure roughly 2,000 feet in radius that disrupted energy signals and even motion itself. It appeared energetic, reactive, and perhaps sentient. Travis gazed toward the mesa, his face half lit by the Utah dusk, and spoke what they all were thinking. Whatever was buried beneath or hovering above Skinwalker Ranch was real, powerful, and beyond their understanding. The bubble was not merely an anomaly, it was a frontier.